Hello, and welcome to the presentation on Chapter 15, Proposal Arguments. What are they? Well, proposal arguments are essential for the workings of a free and open society. A proposal argument motivates the audience to recognize a problem and then proposes a solution to the problem. Okay, so when effective, proposal arguments call an audience to action. We actually have two types of proposal arguments. There are practical proposals and policy proposals. And with practical proposals, they are very narrow, local, and concrete. They focus on the nuts and bolts of getting something done in the here and now. So they propose an action to solve a local or immediate problem. For example, students' proposal to build bike paths on campus. When you have a policy proposal, it is a broad plan of action to solve major social, economic, or political problems. An example of a policy proposal would be the argument that the United States should abolish income tax. Regardless if you're using a practical or policy proposal, your ultimate goal is to motivate the audience to recognize an issue. So let's take a look at an example. One thing about proposal arguments is they work very nicely with the Tolman framework. You can use the Tolman system to support your proposal with reasons linked to your audience's beliefs, assumptions, and values. So, for example, if the problem is the United States needs to reduce the carbon footprint of automobiles, you can create a proposal stating to place a green tax on gasoline, give tax credits for buying fuel-efficient vehicles, and require automobile manufacturers to increase the fuel efficiency of their fleets. Then naturally you would have grounds to support these, and you would also have the warrant that society needs to act now to reduce the carbon footprint. Another example is high school students aren't getting enough hours of sleep per night. Your proposal could include to have school start later in the morning so students can sleep longer, and teachers should limit the amount of homework so students aren't up as late. So again, proposal arguments work very well with the Tolman method. Now with claim types, you are looking at why should we do this action? So you kind of break things down into three parts. And this is by using the claim type strategy. And with it, you have the argument from principle or category, argument from consequences, and argument from resemblance. So you can see the type of because reasons that each produces. So, for example, because doing so adheres to this good principle, or because the action belongs to this good category. So we should support genetically modified foods because doing so values scientific reason over emotion. So you're saying the principle of science takes precedent over emotion because genetically modified foods are safe. So they belong in the category of safe things. From consequence, that this action will lead to these good consequences. Because biotech crops can reduce world hunger, biotech crops can improve environments by reducing the use of pesticides. And then finally, dealing with resemblance, because this action has been done successfully elsewhere, or because this action is like this good action. That would translate into because genetic modification is like natural crossbreeding that has been accelerated, or because genetic modification of food is like scientific advancements in medicine. So again, this is a strategy that you can use to help you find supporting reasons for your proposal. These are the points that will move your audience. So this is used to help you develop your argument. Another approach that you can use is the stock issue strategy, which is on page 268 in your textbooks, where you take an approach by asking 5 specific questions. Is there really a problem that needs to be solved? Will the proposed solution really solve the problem? Can the problem be solved more simply without disturbing the status quo? Is the proposed solution really practical? Does it stand a chance of actually being enacted? And what will be the unforeseen positive and negative consequences of the proposal? So the stock issue strategy is also another option in addition to the claims type strategy. Now, regardless of which strategy you use to help you develop your argument, the structure of the argument will always follow this. It will always begin with an introduction that engages the reader and begins to give background information about the problem being addressed. So you have to inform your audience exactly, what the problem is. This will also give the problem presence by showing who is affected and what is at stake. Sometimes there are certain concerns with proposal arguments, and one is the need for presence. To persuade people to act on your proposal, particularly if the personnel or financial cost is high, you must give your argument presence as well as intellectual force. So by giving your argument presence, you are actually trying to grip the reader's hearts and imaginations as well as intellect. So you're basically using logos and pathos. So that's very important that you have that in the introduction. From there, you would go on to the proposed solution. This is the explanation of the solution. So this would include your thesis statement or claim about how the problem will be solved. From there, you have justification of proposed solution, which is basically the body of the paper, where you will restate the claim and go into detail about specifics. So this would be your supporting reasons. And introduces reasons for why the solution is effective. From there, you would respond to objections or to alternative proposals. So you would summarize possible objections, basically what problems might others see in the proposal and how is yours the best solution. So you would respond appropriately through rebuttal or concession. And then finally, you have the conclusion, where you sum up the argument to help readers get the big picture, call the readers to action, and of course, end with something memorable. To give you a little more insight on proposal arguments, I recommend that you do watch the following video. And finally, here is the activity for you to complete for your homework assignment. This activity is found on page 267 of the text, and this uses the generating ideas using the claim strategies, the claim type strategies. So you'll do this for the following 3 claims. So you're basically kind of recreating the little chart that was included in this presentation. So please let me know if you have any questions or problems dealing with proposal arguments.